Alright, hey guys, it is episode 2 of the day, episode 4 overall, and we are going to just do normal white piece of printer paper drawing. I'm thinking I might just go rant for this episode, see where my brain takes me, because honestly that's what happened either way. I can try and constitute what I'm going to say, but it never truly works. So, yeah. I figured you guys wouldn't want to see the exact same thing twice in one day, so I'll start off this piece of paper. And gonna be drawing the same stuff. Yeah, I kind of might just let this drawing go on its own. I don't know if I'm gonna do much talking because obviously, as I said in the other video today, throat has been pretty sore. I've been kind of sick the last few days, so I don't want to mess it up even more by talking constantly. Probably be a good idea to rest my voice a bit, but really am in the mood to just make some content right now. So that's what I'm gonna do. So, yeah, I've got an eye that I kind of tried to draw as a spiral there, just some geometric shapes filled with the kind of wavy patterns. I don't really have much to talk about, I guess. Well, let's just talk about, music that I've been enjoying recently. I recently am still in the process of getting into Future's discography. If you couldn't tell by my vinyls, I'm a bit of a hip-hop head, but I'm still kind of getting into some of it. I've been much more a fan of, conscious rap and stuff like that, and more experimental projects like Childish Gambino, Tyler, Kanye, Kendrick. Those are kind of my jam. Also Kid Cudi. Trying to think. Obviously I love Outkast, stuff like that. But started getting into Future's discography. I also listened to the new Lil Yachty album, which I cannot recommend enough. It was amazing through and through, in my opinion. Obviously, critics had some mixed reviews of it, but I think just the fact that he was able to do such a left turn and really do a good job with it in his discography was pretty awesome. Like, he goes from releasing Walk to Poland to, a neo-soul psych album. It's kind of insane that he was able to pull that off. And it seems like even though critics don't love it as much as I do, no one has really had anything properly bad to say about the project as a whole. I think it has a really good ethereal kind of dreamy vibe. You can hear a lot of the Tame Impala, Pink Floyd. I would even say that Kid Cudi influenced some of the vibes on the album. But it was just really I put in my headphones, I was playing a video game, and I decided I'm just gonna turn off the lights, close my eyes, and enjoy this project on its own. Since it really was just like a whole experience. Yeah, I've been working on listening through Future's discography, and I'm not saying like it's been a chore or anything. I don't really have the attention span to listen through a lot of the same kind of music at once. But listen through Hendrix, amazing project. Like 3/4 of the way through DS2 right now. I'm trying to think. Yeah, those are the only 2 projects that I've like listened to on their own. I also kind of just listened to his popular, like his top songs, just to see what was going on with those. I'm going with a checkerboard pattern here. I might actually need to, I'm honestly kind of happy to say this, I'm going to need to pull out a new Sharpie, because that one, I'll still be using it, but just for video's sake, I'm just going to pull out the new one. This one I have not even taken off the cap until now. That one, it's starting to not draw the lines as clearly, which, just for the video, I want to have it better. I'm not going to throw it out or anything, though. I like to use a Sharpie until it's fully out of ink. Yeah, one thing, I know that this isn't great for the marker, but I like to have like a thicker tip of the chisel. Not as thick as if I were, doing that, but I kind of like to press it down a little bit so you can get a thicker line there. Obviously that comes with just drawing with the marker, though. Over time it'll wear it down. Yeah, we're just filling in these checkers. Alright, so that's about half of the page done. Well, not half. Actually, yeah, I'd say that's about half. Let's see, what other music have I been really getting into? I recently finally listened to the whole album Yay by Kanye West. Obviously, I am in no way supporting him as a person. I'm vehemently against that, but I do, it's kind of a guilty pleasure of mine, love his music. Except for, the ones that aren't good. Donda and Jesus is King. I think that Donda was a very personal project for him, and I think that it was, good for him to make that project, but I just don't think it's his best music, and 2, I can't really connect to anything that's religious, personally. It's just not my thing. I'm in the camp of, we can't really know if there's a God. I mean, I'm not saying, you're wrong if you believe in God, but I do think that some of the influences that, especially Abrahamic religion have on people can be pretty harmful. There's a lot of homophobia and sexism that goes along with those religious beliefs. That's biased from my perspective, obviously, just because I am an ex-Lutheran, Missouri Synod Lutheran, so I have kind of a bias against especially Christianity because, one, I think that Missouri Synod Lutheran is kind of like one of the not very good denominations. I think it's very, like, not all of Lutheranism is bad, but Missouri Synod teaches a lot of those not very good things. This is in no way like a PSA against religion, though. I think, especially for people who are struggling with depression and stuff like that, having some belief can help you a lot. Like being able to, pray to someone if you don't have anyone in your life. That can be a very good thing for some people. It's just not the thing for me. And you aren't a bad person if you believe in a God either. I think the only problem that I have with religious beliefs is anything like young earth creationism is just scientifically provably wrong. So I don't really support that. Not saying that all of creationism is bad, though, because really, from my perspective, like, there's a perfectly reasonable chance that, a God did create the world and have it, like, set up for the Big Bang, which I don't like to use that term because it was made up by a Christian to make fun of the theory. But there's not really a better, more accessible term for it, so. Sorry if some of this line work is a little rough. I'm just kind of letting my hand do its own thing while I talk. All right. But I'm also kind of, back onto the topic of music, I'm re-listening through most of Tyler, the Creator's discography as we get ready for the next album to drop. Obviously, it's probably not coming out for another few months, but I like to, listen through a person. If I really enjoy their music, I like to listen through their discography before they drop a new project, just so that I can, have a fresher look on the music. I do hope to maybe explore making music someday, because I'm very much in the camp of, like, Donald Glover, Childish Gambino. I want to do what I want when I want. I want to just, like, if one day I wake up and I want to try and make a song, I want to be able to do that. It doesn't have to be good either. Like, just making stuff, I think, is important. Even if you aren't an artist, if you have any, like, urge to create, do it. Just make stuff as much as you can. That's kind of why I started with these videos, is I think it's, and I know I touched on this in the first episode, I believe, it's an exercise for myself to just consistently keep creating. Because really, even though I'm not in the camp of quantity over quality, I do think that in an artistic sense, the more you make, the more good you can make. Like, instead of like trying to make the perfect piece of art, make 20 pieces of art and then narrow it down to whichever one you think is the best. It's a lot easier to make 20 possibly good things than to stress yourself out over making the perfect thing first time around. And you really shouldn't expect to either. No one should expect to make a perfect piece of work in art or in anything. I think that that's kind of a flawed part of our society, is you're expected to be able to get something right the first time, and no one is. No one is able to, be perfect on the first try. It's a process of learning. In everything, really. Like, I don't think I would be nearly as passionate about drawing as I am if it weren't for the fact that I get to see myself do better over time, and I get to keep trying. Like I've touched on before, it's really about the emotional journey for me of making things and seeing how they reflect me. Like, with drawing eyes a lot in my art, I think that it's kind of a reflection of how I want to be seen. Like, that's why I draw eyes. Obviously, I don't consciously think about it. Think, oh yeah, I'm doing this so I can, show people how good I am. But I think a big motivator for me is, wanting to prove myself, I guess. And not prove that I'm good, but prove that I'm worth listening to. Prove that I'm able to persist and that I'm not just going to give up. And also, another thing that I've mentioned before, I want to succeed how I'm not supposed to. I want to succeed by making non-traditional art and, honestly just making art in general. That's not the path that, my parents want me to take. I know that they would definitely rather me, get a 5 to 9 and settle down, go to college. But it's just not the thing for me. I really would rather, even if I want to learn how to do stuff, I would rather just go out and try until I figure it out than get a formal education on how to do that thing. Because, again, it's all the process of figuring it out, and especially figuring it out on my own. Obviously, not everything should be done alone, but art is something that is kind of all for me. So there's another 20-minute episode. A decent drawing. This one is going in the box of drawings. Maybe I'll go through these once I, start to fill up the box a bit more. Because I do think that there's a lot of different stuff in here. This one I like. It uses paint. Yeah, it's really all just about the process for me. So, thanks for anyone who did tune in for any part of this video. Especially the people who, my friends who have consistently supported my content since 2 days ago. And honestly, also everyone who I don't know that's tuning in and is really just watching for the content. They're not watching, for me. So do all the interaction stuff, like the other thing. Comment topic ideas. I really need topic ideas so I don't go off the rails like I do in most of these. Come up with ideas for what I should try and draw. Anything. Comment. That's the most important thing. I need engagement. Thank you. Bye.